is your next move, your best move? Welcome to new year with a new understanding. Yes, you can see a chessboard in front of me. But let's straight away get into the topic. But I'll start from carom board. All of you would have at some point of time played or learned or mastered these indoor games. Same is with me. So what I want to start with it is human beings. The journey of a human being starts from ignorance to enlightenment. Will they get enlightened in this lifetime or not is always going to be a very important question. But what is very true for all of us is we all begin from ignorance. Even the enlightened master, in the beginning, he or she also was ignorant. So our entire journey starts from ignorance. And in that ignorance, I also one day saw a lot of people at home, in home, playing carom board. And I also little one in my growing years, I got little amused by the way everybody used to get glued to carom board in the house. There used to be carom board competitions in the societies. And I also one day went to one of my uncle's house, saw the carom board people playing. I got a chance to play. So I sat down. And the first, like an every ignorant player of carom board, I started, took the striker and kept on hitting every possible coin. Didn't matter to me it was white coin or black coin. It was for my team or not my team or opponent's team, whether it was going in that hole or not. Didn't matter to me the queen. I just played the way I wanted to play. I was just hitting the striker. It was an exciting noise for me to exciting thing to even just listen to the noise tuck 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 going everywhere. But eventually I realized by playing like that I didn't win a single game for almost months together. And I used to always be on the losing side. Ignorance. I didn't know anything about carom board. Then slowly I realized I'm going on losing. Even if I'm enjoying the play, I'm not able to win a single game. Then I started observing. I think a typical human intelligence. We may be ignorant, but we also have intelligence which start understanding. Hello, you can't keep losing like that again and again. So I started observing. And I believe all of you also would have done started observing. Then I realized there are some rules, some regulations by which I have to play. Few things I cannot do, few things I have the freedom to do. And the one ignorant player called me now started playing little more smartly by observing. Sometimes I took lessons from somebody. Sometimes my ego did not permit. Then I took the striker, I kept it properly, and I knew how to do, what to do, when to hit, whom to hit. I was becoming a little more knowledgeable. Then my game started improving. Same was with chess also. I saw two people sitting and playing for hours together. One coin, one coin. One of those days, I also got a chance to sit on the chessboard because only one person was there. There was nobody to accompany that person. So I also sat. And like a typical child, I told, I want white coins. And the other person said, okay, he was matured. He was a veteran champion, maybe. Any coin is okay. You take, you want white, you take white. I took the white. And like that, I have the whole freedom to play the game. I started playing one pawn after one, then this, then this, then this, then I just ignorantly I kept playing, and within 2 or 3 moves, I used to lose. And I kept losing it for months together. Then my intelligence said, you can't keep losing like this. So I started observing. Then I started learning. My intelligence overtook my ignorance. I took help from somebody, some places I observed, somewhere I learned, somewhere I read. Then I started playing the game slowly, slowly, step by step. Don't you think I'm talking about our lives? All of us start with ignorance and keep doing whatever we feel like doing. We feel like sleeping, we sleep, irrespective of what will this cause. We did not study, even if we know we have to study, we did not study. We did a lot of things which we were not supposed to be doing. We just kept doing left, right, center out of ignorance, not knowing that this can cause some repercussions. And definitely we kept losing a lot of things in our life as we kept growing in life. And then intelligence took over and I realized, hey, I'm just going on doing things which has no sense. And it's a classic age of teenage, just stepping into teenage. Because till that time it is all about ignorance, or your parents or the society doesn't allow you to do anything by yourself. But when you start getting into this phase of teenage, that is where intelligence takes over and say, it's my life and I will take my chances. Not realizing that age with that intelligence that life is not a matter of chance. But the thought process for all of us is, it's my only chance, this is the only life I have got, it's only chance I have, so I want to make all the chances, I want to take all the possible chances, not realizing that life is not a matter of chance. Then so many of them took chances, and we almost in that age take chances on a wrong path. Maybe a smoking habit, maybe a hookah, maybe any bad habit. That is where we take chances. Very 1%, maybe 0.01% of the world population takes a chance to do something good. Most of us animalistic in nature, so we always take a chances to explore the animal in us, the negative in us, the bad around in the world. And that chance which most of us took didn't give us the desired result. Like the carom board player with ignorance playing, like the chess player playing with ignorance, kept losing again and again, losing again and again. Friendship you lost, relationship you lost, opportunities we lost, beautiful events we missed because we kept taking our chances. Then I have understood in my life this one thing, beautiful thing. Life is not about rights and wrongs. And we have burdened ourselves and everybody around us with this whole pressure of rights and wrongs. I have realized in my life, life is not a matter of rights and wrong. Life is a matter of choice. Life is a matter of maturity. Life is all about maturity, growing maturity. In the lesser maturity or immaturity, what looks right will in the growing maturity look wrong. What looked wrong will look right, and it keeps changing, and we have to keep evolving this thinking, and that's the most beautiful part of intelligence. Then we realize, so you sat in front of the chessboard, then not like the ignorant fellow, you kept on moving every possible coin or the pawn or the queen or the rook or the knight the way you wanted to. Then you realize, now if I keep doing like blindly without any, see, what is the chance? When you make a move without thinking, it's called a chance. You're taking a chance. When you make a move with intention, why I'm doing this, then it is called a choice. When I do something in my life without thinking, I take a chance. It's called a chance. When I do something with a clear cut intention defined in my mind and then take a move, make a decision, or do an action, then it is called a choice. Then have you realized, all of you who either played carom board or it was a game of chess, you started learning, then you started thinking before every move. Oh, I can tell you what melodrama, what cinematic expressions we all give when we play, just because we have learned something about carom board or chess. We'll sit in front of a chessboard. Game is not started. The board is set. when we keep looking, you should see the expression of every player. Game is not even started, and the first move is not even made, and how much we think. So much is running in the mind. If I make this first move, what all will happen, how the opponent will respond to the whole thing, what he will think, and with keeping all this in mind, you take a step, then you take a step back, then you take a step forward, just a second, and ultimately, after long debate, deliberation in your mind, you said, okay, I'll start with here, and then you start from here. It took so much time. Then the other guy, he has his own thought process. Now he takes one of his coin and move forward. Now we start thinking for that why he would have made that move. Now what should be my counter move? Again, and I love this expression part. I don't enjoy this part. I enjoy this part. You should see people. What calculation they're doing, God knows, but I just love this expression of people. I know you're getting irritated there watching this, but that is how we do. Think about fathers must be getting irritated seeing your stupid moves. And you know what is the most comic part of this? The most comic part of this is not an grand masters play. This is not even international tournament. This is not even national level tournament. This is not even regional tournament. This is not even zonal level tournament. This is not even your local tournament. This is not even your society's apartments tournament level. वो भी नहीं है. It's not even your family level group tournament. It is one summer vacation time pass game on which nothing is at stake. For that game, which does not have anything at stake, so much we think for every move. You know what I'm trying to make you understand is this. Where nothing is at stake, we think so much before making every move. On a day-to-day life, when the game of chess called life is spread, can't we think for a few minutes before making every move in our life? And on a daily basis in 24 hours, how many moves we make at mental level, at emotional level, at action level, at decision level, so many moves we make. Do we have time? Do we sit back for a minute somewhere? Is it okay to get angry on this right now? If I get angry on this, will it hurt the person, and will this happen? Do you do this calculation? Shouldn't we do? On a game of carrom board, I have seen people play with the striker for 25 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. Shall I? Why? Because queen is at stake. And which game it is? A game which has nothing at stake. No gold medal or no cup or no certificate will be given. For a game like that, we think so much. A game called life, where so much is at stake on a daily basis at every point of life. So much is at stake. Cannot we have the lesson learned from these games where nothing was at stake? You used your intelligence to make every possible move. Till the end of the game, you did not let the intelligence go away. Then why is it when it comes to our life, we just take life as a chance and we just don't make choices enough thought? And if the same thought process what we show on a chessboard or on a carrom board, if we can become a part of our thinking, if I say there are times in my life when I stand on the dais and take a program, I want to say statement, I want to make a statement, And as I'm thinking about making a statement, I ask myself in that fraction of a second, if I speak this sentence, what repercussion it is going to create. In my mind, I ask myself, if I choose to speak the statement. There was a time in my life when I stand on the dais and speak whatever I feel like speaking. I say, I have the freedom to speak. But then life doesn't care about what you think. Then it gives you enough consequences, because life doesn't think it's a chance. Life treats whatever you and me do as a choice. And the beautiful law of life is this: if there is a choice, there will be a consequence. And that is where we grow in maturity. Yes, and teenager will say, it's my life. I want to do what I want to do. I want to have the freedom to do what I want to do. And they go on doing left, right, center. They pick up a bad habit or something, and that bad habit will have a repercussion, or that bad decision will, or wrong decision will have a repercussion. And when it is unfavorable, life hits you badly, and that is where you get shaken up, and your ignorance is being broken, and that is where intelligence pops up. Every decision went wrong. Every move backfired. Either it hits you at a health level, or at your mental level, or financial level, or relationship level, social level. At some level, when life hits you back with a difficult, not to be handled consequence, that is where ignorance is broken, and then pops out intelligence and realize at that point. Most of the people stay at ignorant level only till the end of life. Then few of them become intelligent and realize, next time I should think and do something. That is where our elderly people keep telling me, yes, सोच करने के पहले 1000 बार सोच लो. Think twice, think multiple times before you execute a decision, because when you execute a choice, that is your move. For that move, there will be a consequence. And beauty of consequence is this. I won't say beauty of consequence, but the truth, or the bitter truth of consequences: consequence does not care who made a choice. If beloved Mother Teresa drives the car haphazardly on the road, she also will meet with an accident. Life doesn't care. She is saintly woman. Let her drive the way she wants to drive. Accidents will not happen. Accidents will happen. If you execute a choice, there will be a consequence, and that is growing maturity. And then an human intelligence realize, from ignorance it grows into intelligence, where it realizes if there is a choice, there will be a consequence. And consequence, sometimes you have to suffer the consequence, or sometimes you have to enjoy the consequence. For every move of yours, there will be a consequence. For every choice of yours, there will be a consequence. And the consequences, depending upon the choices that you execute, either you will enjoy the consequence, or you will suffer the consequence. Sometime you can predetermine it. I know if I make this move, this will get killed. You know it, and you're willing to let go, because you know in the clear mind, this move will make this coin go, or this knight of mine will go, or rook will go. But I am okay, because I am to sacrifice this so that I will have nothing, other doors open for my next move. Then choices, it is predetermined for the consequences. Sometimes you are for a shock. Sometimes you are for a shock. You never expected that this move will attract this consequence from the other side, and you are for a shock. Like 2020, not a single human being ever in his life, in his entire globe, ever thought 2020, which could have been a year of plenty, became the year of scarcity for billions of people. Oh, a choice which we made last year, and the consequence which we all collectively got was absolutely disastrous, surprised, unexpected consequence. But if you make a choice, there will be consequence. That is a growing maturity. That's a growing maturity. Then you grow with your intelligence, and the next maturity comes is, there will be favorable consequences, there will be unfavorable consequences. Then what I'm trying to make you understand, the first part of this entire discussion is, boss, on a game of chess or a carom board, we think so much before making every possible move. Can in our life also we make so many moves, so many choices, so many decisions on a daily basis, from small to big to mega decisions? Can we give a moment Can we give a moment to think this gesture of mine, this statement of mine, this behavior of mine, this decision of mine, what repercussions will have? And who is a mature person? A mature person is a mature person who, before making a single smallest move to the biggest move, first gives a thought and ask, if I do this, what all repercussions can happen, what all possible consequence can happen. And if you want to become more matured in the whole thing, then I'm giving this basic simple guideline is, when you make a choice, there will be two possible consequences, favorable to you or unfavorable to you. In the favorable also there are two more consequences, and in unfavorable also there are two more consequences. That is called growing maturity. With the life, as you grow, you realize that every choice will have two consequences, one favorable and one unfavorable. In the favorable consequence, there will be two more parts to it. In an unfavorable consequences, there will be two more parts to it, components to it. So it is a favorable consequence, which means when you execute a choice, when you create a move or you make a move, you're expecting a result. That is why you make a choice. A favorable consequence can be either you get what you want or you get more than what you want. In an unfavorable circumstances, you might get less than what you want, or you can get exactly opposite of what you wanted. So there are completely four consequences which will come, and that is called growing maturity. Immaturity or ignorance is, it's my life, once in a lifetime chance, so I will take my chance, and you keep doing everything without thinking, absolutely ignorant, and then life hits you back with multiple unfavorable consequences, and then we shake up, it shakes us, and then it breaks our ignorance, and intelligence pops up, and then we realize it cannot be a chance. Life gives you chance once in a while, not every time. Then you realize it's not a chance to be taken, it's a choice to be made. It's not a choice, it's not a chance to take, it's a choice to make. And when you start thinking before you make a move, then it becomes a choice because it is well thought of. And then in the growing maturity, you realize, if I make a choice, then I will have a consequence. Then you also grow in the maturity and realize, with every choice there will be a consequence. Sometimes the consequence will be favorable and sometimes it will not be favorable. Then as you keep growing in your life, then you also realize, even if it is favorable, sometimes I get what I want, sometimes I might get more than what I want. And when it unfavorable consequence, I'll realize sometimes I get less than what I expected, and sometimes I get exactly opposite. And 2020 for so many of us was exactly opposite of what we expected in the beginning of the year. I only gave that Twitter message on beginning of 2020. 2020 is going to be an year of plenty, plenty of opportunities, plenty of possibilities, and plenty. Or it turned out to be disastrous for so many people. For a lot of people, now you have to reflect with you. What did you get? You got what you expected in 2020? Or less than? Or more than? Or exactly opposite? I got mix of all the four. In fact, in my case, by the way I look back, I got more than I expected, where a lot of people got exactly opposite. So many businesses closed down. I opened up, and so many more businesses opened up. So not necessarily everybody will have the same consequences, but you have to ask yourself, for your choices, you will have the consequences, and the consequences will be only four. That is called growing maturity. Growing maturity. In the growing maturity, 20 years back, I used to eat non-vegetarian. That was my choice. That choice gave me some consequences, that I had a lot of animalistic nature because I used to eat non-veg almost every day. That choice, that consequence. I'm not even discussing right and wrong. Right and wrong is such an lousy way of looking at life all the time. Because in the growing maturity, I realize I don't have to kill an animal to satisfy my taste. I'm not discussing right and wrong here. I'm discussing about choice and consequence. So I stopped eating non-veg. I executed a new choice. From today onwards, I'll be vegetarian. And by turning pure vegetarian, what happened was brilliant. My aggression came down. My anger came down. My animalistic nature kept coming down. I became more sattvic in my thoughts. I became more sattvic in my feeling. I became more sattvic in my bodily gestures. Everything became more sattvic and more sattvic because जैसा खाओ अन्न वैसा होगा मन. That kind of food, that kind of mood, that choice, that consequence, this choice, this consequence, growing maturity. And today, where I used to eat so much food, today I have dropped my food intake to one third. And with one third food, I feel more energetic. This choice, this consequence, that choice, that consequence. And that's called growing maturity. And I also realized now it takes some time because I'm become pure vegetarian, my intake of B12 and vitamin D is reduced, because of which sometimes I struggle with my health, my fitness. But that choice, I have to suffer this consequence. And maturity is to understand, next level of maturity is, I am suffering because of lack of deficiency of B12 or vitamin D was because of my choice. God doesn't want to punish me. Or devil doesn't want to punish me. You stop non-veg, now you suffer. Because I don't eat non-veg, there is not enough B12 in my body. My body sometimes feel very strained, sometimes very fatigued. But that is the consequence which I have to suffer. At one end, I am enjoying the consequence of sattvic thoughts and feelings and behavior in my life. At the same time, I'm suffering because of lack of B12 and this, and I'm finding, and I'm now looking forward for some supplements by which I'll be able to maintain. But that choice, these consequences, some consequences I have to suffer, some consequences I have to enjoy, and the maturity is I should be gracefully able to accept the consequences of life because the consequences came out of my choices. Nobody dumps on me. So whatever consequences you are receiving in your life is not because of life, it's because of the choices, the moves that you made in your life. And I am enjoying or suffering the consequences in my life not because life is or against or for me. No, not for that. For the choices that I made, and I should take up the responsibility. That is next level of maturity. I wholeheartedly take the responsibility of the choices that I execute. And for every move that I execute, whatever consequence, favorable, unfavorable, it's my credit or it is me to blame in the whole thing. That's good. So when I'm asking you this, is your next move the best move? Because after living for so many years, irrespective of your age, who is watching here, irrespective of that, right now with all that we all would have done multiple things in life, multiple moves in our life, multiple choices we have executed. Now some choices were thought, some choices were without thinking, they were your chances. Some choices you made knowing you are making, but you are not willing to accept the consequences, thinking why life is so bad to you, not realizing that consequences are given to you, received to you for the choices that you execute. कर्म तो हम करते हैं ना. The action is done by me, so the fruits of action also is for the fruits of the action. The fruits, whether they are bitter or sweet, that is also because of your action. So where is the question of blaming? And then you come to a maturity in life, then you realize there's no point blaming anybody or anything in life, because everything that I'm having in my life, which I'm enjoying or suffering, is all because of my choices. Now the ultimate question is here is this: if this much you have understood till now, and this much life you and me have lived life now, then this new year has begun. So are you going to do the same thing that we have been doing for all these years, or is your next move going to be the best move? Because you have enough setbacks, you and me have seen enough failures, you and me had enough teachers and coaches, you and me have done enough lessons, discourses, you and me have enough observations. And after all this thing, if it has not evolved our intelligence, and today, if we are not going to make our next move as the best move, then I think we're still at ignorance. We're still at ignorance. And that's called growing maturity. Life is not about rights and wrongs. Life is all about growing maturity. Then, in a growing maturity, you also realize, am I the chess piece or am I the chess master? Am I the player or am I the piece on the chessboard? Then this question comes, right? Now, question you have to ask yourself is this: are you the chess player or are you the chess piece? That's where it comes. Surrender, faith, where intelligence makes all the moves with the intention clearly defined, where the intelligence makes all the choices. You and me at one point of time will realize I am the masterpiece of that master. Then let me hand over myself and my intelligence in the hands of the master. And then he guides you, carries you through, leads you through. That is another level of maturity. Few of us may have reached there. Few of us are still at intelligence, and so many of them still at ignorance. Depending on your maturity, the way you look at life, we are at different levels. Think about it. Where are you? Still at a level of ignorance where everything is a chance? Or you have evolved to realize my life is matter of my choice and God has given me the intelligence to play my game properly, and then you think and play, make every move like how you thought before every move on the chessboard or the carom board. Then you evolve and realize, am I a chess piece or am I a chess player? Then you realize there is something beyond is guiding you towards something, and then you in deep surrender and faith hand over yourself in the hands of the master. Then you realize you are a chess piece in the hands of a master, and then the master guides you to make the move along with your intelligence. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. That's living life out of the choice of faith. Then faith is what guides you in life, and you live your life out of that choice, that my will shall not prevail, thy will shall prevail. Then you do everything as a dedication, as a devotion to your Lord, to your God, to whatever you believe in. Then you lift yourself to a divine level and live life out of faith. That's your again choice. Where you don't question, then there is no question, there are only answers. And these are the people, when 2020 happened, for them there was not the question, why God, why this to me at this stage in my life? They didn't have question, they had answers for 2020. And they say, if that is what you want me to go through, let me go through like this. And so many people found themselves, evolved themselves, raised themselves, and not everybody struggled in 2020. There are so many people who made maximum income. So many people found themselves, discovered themselves, new ideas came out, new events came out, new strategies came out. So much came out of 2020, including this sessions called what I do for last 9 months right now, all because of 2020. Men of faith have all the answers. Men of intelligence have all the questions. And people like who are anchored on the faith to execute the choices were able to have answers in their life. Then that is one more level of maturity. A 5-year-old little boy, along with his mom, went to a shop. Shopping got over, and as the mom was standing on the counter clearing the bill, the shopkeeper looked at the boy and said, "Take chocolates, my boy. It is there in the jar." The 5-year-old boy refused, saying, "Uncle, I don't want it." Mother was shocked that the 5-year-old child is refusing chocolate. She felt very good. But shopkeeper insisted, saying, "Take it, my son, take it, it's okay. Your mommy's regular customer, you take it. I won't charge for it, it's free." The boy said, "No, uncle, I don't want." Mother was feeling very good, very proud. The shopkeeper did not give up. He said, "It's okay. Are you feeling shy or something like that? It's okay. Take it. Take as many. I'm not saying only take one. Take as many you want." The boy said, "No, uncle, I don't want. Thank you so much." We should have seen the face glowing of the mother. Then the shopkeeper said, "Come on, that's not okay. Okay, I will give it to you." He opened the jar, took the chocolates in his hand, and gave it to the child. And as the child was given the chocolates by the shopkeeper, the child immediately took his shirt and took everything in his shirt and was very excited and happy. Mother felt very embarrassed. As both of them came out of the shop, the mother hit the child and said, "Stupid, you know how good I was feeling that you're refusing chocolates. I felt so proud. But you stupid fellow. The moment uncle gave the chocolates, immediately you took it. Why?" The child smiled very innocently said, "Mama, before entering the shop only I have decided if uncle asks me for chocolate, I will not take. Because with my little hands, how much will I take? But if uncle gives, I will definitely take because uncle's hands are big. With big hands, more chocolates will come. With little hand, little only will come, na mama." And he told the prophecy of life. With your and my little intelligence, how can we understand his game? Because his hands are big. He's a supreme intelligence. What you and me can do is, you and me only can do is, we can only make best moves. Best moves that are born out of years and years of experiences, mistakes, setbacks, failures, and that's how you move forward. And you make the best move from you and then wait for what comes from there. He knows when to give, where to give, whom to give, how much to give. But first, you should understand it is your responsibility for every move that you make in your life. So 2020 is over. Now, if we have not learnt our lessons, if we are not going to make the corrections, if we are not going to change something at some level, and going to repeat what we did in 2018, 2019, 2020, then don't expect 2021 to be a new year. It will be still an old repetitive year because same moves, same consequences, same choices, same consequences, same actions, same fruits of actions. So now that year has started, I chose to talk to so many of you and ask this question: is your next move going to be your best move? All depends. If you're going to do exactly what you have been doing all these years, again this year, then it will not be a new. It will be called as a new year because dates have changed, calendars have changed, diaries have changed, timings have changed. But otherwise, nothing about life is changed. Then it can't be called as new year. It can be only called as a new date, new calendar, new year, and old you and old me. So, what will be the moves that you will make? With understanding and maturity. If I make a move, there will be a counter move. If I make a choice, there will be a counter choice. There will be a consequence. It can't be a chance anymore. First, with that clarity here. If I make a choice, there will be a consequence. Two, the consequence will be either favorable or unfavorable, which means either I get to enjoy the consequence or suffer the consequence. Three, even if it is favorable, sometimes I get what I want, sometimes I will get more than what I want, favorable. And sometimes it will be unfavorable, sometimes it will be less than what I expected or what I wanted, or it will be exactly opposite. Now, when you start thinking this before making a choice, you know I can have these consequences. So what a matured person is now, what is a proactivity called as? What is proactivity here is, proactivity is before I make a choice, I know four possible consequences will happen. So let me mentally think about all the four and be ready for all the four. So whenever the four happens, I know what is plan B or plan C or plan D. So when four consequences out of four anything happens, I know what to do with the four or one of the four. That is called growing maturity. Then you raise yourself to faith, saying that I made a choice with my intelligence, and whichever consequence I got, I have no other business but to accept it gracefully. When they came and told Christ, go and save your life, they're going to come and crucify you in some time. And in that moment, Christ said, if death be the gift of Lord unto me, who am I to refuse it? When you have that kind of maturity that even you're able to willingly accept death gracefully, you know you are evolved soul. To be able to gracefully accept the consequences that life gives you, which came out of your choices, should be able to gracefully accept. Then that is growing maturity. That's how you keep evolving in life. That's how you start making the next move as a best move. Again, with that next move, will it become the best move or not depends upon all these four things. At the end of all the four things, you can again come back and say, no, I thought I still have to refine it more, refine it more, refine it more with my experiences. And you again make the best move. That is your next move. The most beautiful thing about chess is I always can make a move. And sometime to win the game of chessboard, you don't always have to move forward. Sometimes you have to move backwards. Sometimes that horse which has moved from here and gone here, it can also have to come back again. Sometimes coming back is a way forward. Sometimes stepping back is a way forward. And that is also a move which is well thought of. Sometimes giving up is going up. Sometimes taking a U-turn is a right turn. That is what is called intelligent moves. And then come the ultimate of maturity, which I have understood till now. You realize you're playing the game of life with your God or with life. You make a move, it makes a counter move. You make a move, it makes a counter move. For that counter move, you make a move, it makes a counter move. The best scene on a chess tournament or a chess classes is when the student plays with the coach, and the students keep losing, keep losing, keep losing. And you should know that when the student keep losing, coach never has a smile. And the best way to learn to play the chess is to play with the coach only. He is the difficult to beat. After hundreds of games, first time, then you start realizing as a student, every move I do, this is what coach is playing. Then you start understanding coach's moves, and then you are ready for counter moves of the coach. And a game will come where the student will beat the coach, and that day, more than the student, coach will be the happiest one, because now he knows my student is ready. Coach in losing wins. And that's, my friends, is the game of life which we play with our God. You make a choice, you get a consequence. You make a choice, you get a consequence. Sometimes suffering, sometimes Then at one time you start realizing, every time I do like this, think like this, behave like this is what happens to me. You start understanding the game that God is playing with you, or the life is playing with you. Then game changes. Then you start playing the game against or with God, and you start telling, for my move, that was your counter move. For your counter move, this is my counter move. I'll give an example. Something has really shaped my thought process. So you come to that level of maturity ultimately. You wanted to be a doctor. You scored great marks in 12th standard, 97%. You cleared entrance exams. Everything happened. And then something very tragic happened at the house. And you couldn't continue to be a doctor. You have to drop out. You couldn't take admission for MBBS. Your entire dream to be a doctor gone. And you feel, what's my mistake? I did everything right. I studied, I prepared, I got breakthrough, everything happened. got the admission seat also on merit, then why God? Very painful. Then, in a growing maturity, what I'm talking about right now is this: tell you didn't make the way for me to be a doctor, no, but I will become a doctor. I have to take care of people, no, I will take care of people. So with whatever you are left with, you build up with that, you grow with that, you build a huge empire of something, whatever is in front of you, make so much money in the world, and then you open a hospital. It might take you 15, 20, 25 years. You build up a hospital, and the day you build up a hospital, you should look back at God and said, you didn't want to make me a doctor, no? See, I'm not a doctor, but I have a hospital. Now I will employ doctors. Where as a doctor I could have treated one patient at a time, now I have 100-bedded hospital made built. Now I can take care of hundreds of patients at one time. Stop me now. Then you don't feel like a victim, don't feel like a helpless fellow. You know, I made my choice, I made my move. God, if that was your counter move, this is my counter move to your counter move. And that's how you stand in life. That's the pride. And I'm telling you, and that day he will be the most happiest one, and he will look at you and say, oh boy, you learned how to live life. I know for so many couples who don't have a child, years and years of wait, and they don't have a child 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. You did every possible thing with your intelligence. At one point in time you surrender your intelligence, in faith also you tried, and nothing happened. Then one day you tell yourself, theek hai, for every choice I made for last 7 to 10 years, in my intelligence, with my intelligence, in my surrender, still you kept on giving me whatever you wanted to me. Now I'm going to make my move to your counter move. You did not give me a child, I'm going to adopt 2 children. Stop me if you want to. Then you go and adopt 2 children. And that's your way of telling the life. What you deprived of me, I'll fulfill by my move. That's human being. I have intelligence to make a choice. This is my choice. I'll adopt 2 children. And if you get even more arrogant with my Lord, I'll open an orphanage and I will have hundreds and hundreds of them. Where you denied me 1, I will have 100. Stop me if you want to. You can call it spiritual arrogance, you can call it human arrogance, but you have that choice. That can be your move. And for me, that is ultimate. Or you wanted to study in life and you were very good in studies and you couldn't educate for whatever reason, you have to school drop out. Okay, big deal. Don't feel victimized, don't feel helpless. Make the next move. Whatever you're left with a shop, with a job, with some business, some proposals, work for next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Make all the possible money, raise the money, raise the fund, start a school, start a college, and then look at life and say, you did not want me to educate, you couldn't make me study properly. Look here, I've opened a school itself. Now stop me if you can. And then you feel like it. And in that success of yours, he feels happy. He feels happy. And that's the most beautiful part of life. That's called strength. That's called maturity. That's called human spirit. When God loses to you, he feels proud. And I think you and me should live that life once in a while, where God should feel loose, where God should feel like a loser to become a winner. In his loss is his winning. Me and my son, when my son was around 7, 8 years old, we used to have running race competition. And we both used to run. And he used to, and I knew all the time, I knew he can't beat me. I'm way ahead of him. And we used to say, ready, steady, go. In fact, I used to give him a head start. You start first. And both of them, ready, steady, go. And we both will run. And I also will run. I will not give like that. I also will compete with him. Both of us are competing. And he will give his 100%. And I know he's giving his best. I know he is going beyond his limit. I also test his speed. I also test his endurance. I also run with him. And when I see he is really giving everything that he has, moment we both come close to the finishing line, you know what? I allow him to win. And in his winning is my victory. And same is with life. Provided life should know, God should know you have done every possible best move that you could do with your intelligence, and you made it till the end of your life, a point will come when He allows you to win. In allowing you to win, it's His victory. And that's the most beautiful. So, is your next move going to be the best move? All depends upon you. Because if you and me are growing maturity, then definitely your next move can be the best move. If you and me are still living with ignorance of thinking some chance, then there is no chance. Shakespeare said so beautifully, some people are born great, like this queen on the board, that rook, that knight. Some people are born great, they're born with greatness. And some people, greatness is thrust upon the king. Greatness is thrust upon them. And then there are few of us born as pawns. You and me have to achieve greatness step by step, step by step, step by step. But the good news is, if you play well for long enough, even this pawn can become king. And we have seen this in history of the world. It's Taiwan. Every pawn became the queen. Most deserved of the country. There are few people who are born with greatness. On some the greatness is thrust upon. And most of us are like this. Don't sad, no, less about it because you're born and born. You and me, step by step, walk long enough. And you and me will become the most important coin piece on the chessboard of life. Provided your every move is the best move. And even if it doesn't turn out to be the best move, you know, and that's life. So what this 2021 will be for you does not depend upon 2021. Depends upon what moves will you make learned out of 2020. Nothing, then repetition of 2020. Then I will end up only with the statement. Either if you have grown out of 2020, learned out of 2020, and create enough avenues for revenues so that in case there is loss, then you know 2021 is your year. So by the end of 2021, you should be able to say, so many brilliant moves I made in my life in this 1 year that I won 2021. I won 2021. And if it is going to be same repetitive lifestyle of last few years, then you will only end up saying, in my life 2021. Now, will it be a statement at the end of the year, I won the year 2021, or in my life year 2020 WON 1? It purely depends upon your moves. will at the end of year you'll say with pride and glory, in my life I won the year 2021, or with sadness and regret will you say, in my life 2021, make your next move the best move. All the best. Love you so much. Thank you. Wish you a very, very happy new year. All the success and all the glory with your moves. Bye.